You've been around long enough. You know every prime minister who's been in charge, whether it's all across the spectrum. Mr. Trudeau, Mr. Mulroney, Mr. Chrétien. Every prime minister is accused of being a one-man band because the reality, the prime minister is the chief executive officer of our government. The prime minister does not sit in his office and just do things off the top of his head.
And to the extent we now have a truly globalized economy, we need some semblance of global governance. That's what the G20 is. So if the G20 doesn't work, something else will fill that gap.
You Eldora, awakening, I love it. Top politicians, you're just Illuminati puppets. Voting is a privilege as a legal citizen, but you're still a damn slave choosing representation. Democracy's illusion and the government's a fraud. It doesn't matter who you're choosing, taxing money and it's robbed.
But here's the thing, the motion on the 25th was largely initiated by the Liberal Party, headed by Michael Ignatieff. And if you look into who Michael Ignatieff is and how he came to be leader of the Liberal Party, and possibly the next Prime Minister, you'll find some strange things.
For years, the man's been out of this country.
Wait, hold on. He's been out of the country longer than the current Minister of Heritage has been alive?
Yeah. Isn't that ridiculous?
That's
ridiculous. He wants to come back and be Prime Minister.
But which one is Michael Ignatieff? Is he Canadian, Russian, American, British, or Canadian? I can't tell.
That's a good question.
I can't figure it out.
Maybe he's all four.
He's a reptilian. If you go to a basic site like Wikipedia, you'll see that he was the elder son of Russian-born Canadian diplomat George Ignatieff. So he's the son of a diplomat. I've heard actually that he's also descending of Russian royalty, which would put him in some kind of elite bloodline. And he lived in Canada until he moved to the United Kingdom in 1978. And he was there until in 2000 he accepted a position as the director of Carr Center for Human Rights Policy at the John F. Kennedy School of Government at Harvard University. And then he was in the States until he came back to Canada in 2005. So he'd been out of Canada for like over 25 years. But as soon as he came back to Canada, he jumped right into being a political leader up here. In this article, you'll learn the strange history of how he actually became the Liberal MP for the Etobicoke Lakeshore riding in 2005. It was a Liberal riding, and when the other two candidates went to the Liberal Party headquarters, they found that the door was locked, so they couldn't submit their applications. So he was the only running Liberal candidate, and surprise, surprise, he ended up being the MP of the region because they always voted Liberal. So he kind of did become MP of Etobicoke Lakeshore by default. So the guy comes back to Canada after having been out of the country for like 25 years and pretty much immediately becomes the MP of a riding in Ontario because the other two Liberal candidates were locked out of the party headquarters. It looks to me like somebody was pulling some kind of strings.
You Eldora, awakening, I love it. Top politicians, you're just Illuminati puppets.
Alright, so here's what happened with Ignatieff. He was one of 3 candidates that were trying to take over the leadership of the Liberal Party, and the other two, Dominic LeBlanc and Bob Ray, announced that they were dropping out of the race on December 8th and 9th, respectively. They just decided to drop out of the race within like a day of each other. I wonder how that happened. Michael Ignatieff has some kind of luck. So once again, he was the only running candidate, and he became the leader of the Liberal Party. I mean, how does this happen? Could it have something to do with his connections? This can be found on freemasonrywatch.org, but it was originally from the Globe and Mail. Okay, this is written by someone called Brooke Clark. I'm just going to read it to you. It says, I was shocked to read William Christian's letter suggesting a link between Michael Ignatieff and the Illuminati. The article was called The Ignatieff Code, May 10th. A cursory reading of Canadian history will make it clear that control of our nation has passed back and forth between 2 lesser-known Masonic groups, the Ignoratti and the Obscuri.
Harper to Ignatieff, harmonic Illuminati, infiltrated democracy by Masonic Ignoratti.
The Illuminati, alas, have shown no interest in taking over. And even if they wanted to rule Canada, they wouldn't do so by a method so cumbersome as to require their man to win 2 elections. First the Liberal Party leadership, and then the general election to become Prime Minister. The Illuminati do not trust the fate of nations to the dubious wisdom of the general populace. As a conspiracy-minded acquaintance once remarked shortly before he disappeared, if voting made a difference, they wouldn't let you vote. It looks like they made it work for Michael Ignatieff. And now for the federal election, they've got everybody hating Harper so much, and our government is always either liberal or conservative. They've already got Ignatieff in there as the leader of the Liberal Party. Now they've seen to it that, you know, everybody's so pissed off with Harper, they're going to shift it over to the Liberals in the next election. It's pas compliqué, tabarnak. Some Canadian truthers recently confronted Michael Ignatieff.
This is the last one, so it better be good.
Hello, good sir. Your opponent, Stephen Harper, has admittedly said he's gone to a Bilderberg meeting, which is admitted on Wikipedia. I would like to know if you've ever attended one of these meetings, and what do you think of these secret meetings?
I've never been to Bilderberg. I've never been in black helicopters either. Look, the point about Bilderberg, maybe people don't know what this is about, but it's very important that in a democracy, elected leaders don't go to highly secret meetings that the people don't know anything about. I mean, I just think as an elected official,
Forget your 20 world leaders. Bilderberg consists of hundreds of deceivers. They yearly meet discreetly in complete secrecy. Sincerely, we have to defeat these elite conspiracies.
It's an idea. It's the truth. It will set you free, but it'll probably piss you off first, and they're not gonna listen to you.
I've been reading your book, The Lesser Evil, Ethical Politics in an Age of Terror. Yeah. And in this book you talk a lot about September 11, and you seem to be operating on the assumption that the official story is true, that 19 Muslim hijackers were able to pull this off. And everything we know about this event contradicts that story. And I know that perhaps that's an unpopular sentiment to express here, but I'm just going to tell you sincerely, I've spoken to hundreds of people across the country, and overwhelmingly, people want a Canadian investigation. They want to know the truth. So I want to. How are we going to beat Harper? Will we finally get a Canadian investigation into 9/11? Thank you. Okay. Facts will defeat Harper.
I respectfully disagree with your contention. I respectfully disagree with your contention. I believe. I think I'll leave it there. I respectfully disagree with the premise of the question. Let's have
I won't win an election that way. I guarantee you.
Thank you.
Do you believe in the idea of a North American Union?
You right here, gentlemen.
You didn't get it. Thank you. Did you get it?
A little bit. Thank you, Michael. Thank you. What do you think about the North American Union, sir?
Thank you very much. Thank you for your kind words. I appreciate it greatly. Thank you for being here tonight. Hey, nice to see you. Great. I really appreciate it.
Michael, what do you think about the North American Union, sir? Canadians know about it. We're not going to stand for it. We are aware and we are awake.
Being an American is not easy. It is hard. We are required as a country to keep some very serious promises. We are judged by a high standard.
People are waking up to the New World Order.
2012.
That's not 2012. Google North American Union. Michael knows what we're talking about.
Global government, one world economy. That's what he wants to establish. CanadianAwareness.org.
Puppet come and suck it. All speeches are scripted and written. Australia from Canada to Britain. John Howard, Stephen Harper, yo, they grinning. Revolution is the solution to be winning.
There isn't really a Canadian economy anymore. It is a global economy.
Puppets all around the world, they expose you or they forbid. So open up your mind and ears, open them eyelids. Puppets all around the world, they expose you or they forbid. So open up your mind and ears, open them eyelids.
It is inherently dangerous
to allow a country such as Iraq
to retain weapons of mass destruction, particularly in the light of its past aggressive behaviour.